Hello everyone, this is KJOG with one more video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about augments for the turrets. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I'm not the best player in this game. Far from it, I'm just a casual player who's been playing in and out of this game since 2008. Uh, Another thing too, I have a thick accent, I'm from Brazil. So forgive me when I mispronounce some of the turrets' name. I apologize in advance. Okay, so augments. Today we're going to be talking about augments for turrets. What are the augments? Augments are the modifiers that allows players to alter gameplay features of turrets while keeping them within the overall game balance. What do they mean by that? Some augments like the I'm gonna put here so you can read it as well. Some augments like for example, you take the shaft. One of the arguments for the shaft is increase the power, the damage it does when it hits a tank, but also decreases the time to reload. Same thing for the smoky. As you can see, the mini of augments right there. For the smoky as well, you have times that you have some augments in the smoky that it will actually increase the speed of the bullets and penetration of the bullets, but also reduce damage or sometimes even remove the critical damage that Smokey does sometimes. So it's almost one of those things you can increase one side of the weapon and decrease the other side to make it fair so that the overall weapon is not broken. And of course, there is some weapons that's gonna be broken. It's part of every game. Every game has that one weapon, that one turret that is just OP, but most time is balanced. So let's talk about the Firebird. So for the Firebird, I suggest you use the incendiary mix with the direct damage plus 50%, the critical damage plus 50%, and energy consumption minus 50%. Um, uh, the burn effect is removed, but it doesn't make any difference. So it's still OP for the Firebird. So I would highly suggest to use the incendiary mix for the Firebird. And if you don't have incendiary mix, go ahead and use the adrenaline. The adrenaline will increase the damage for the turrets when you're about to die. So the more health you personally lose in your hull, the more damage your Firebird turret is gonna do if you're using adrenaline. So as you can see, the price of that 245,000 crystals for incendiary, and then the same price for adrenaline. Um, it's a very good turret. It's one of the strongest turrets in the game right now if you know how to play with it. Okay, so for the freeze, I'll say go ahead and use for the freezes depends. So if you're going to go on an offense, you use the corrosive mix because of the 10% damage and critical damage 10%. Freeze effect will be removed, so you're not really worried about freezing people. You're just worried about killing them. But if you're playing defense with freeze, I will use shock freeze because of the plus 200% freeze rate, energy consumption minus 50%. So if you're playing the defense, I would say go ahead and use the shock freeze. But if you're playing offense, I say go ahead and use corrosive mix. It all depends on what type of gameplay you're playing in the map. By the way, I forgot to say, just playing here with the shaft, just messing around. I was eating dinner and trying to get some gameplay so I could use in the background of this video. So forgive me, I'm not looking the best here as far as the gameplay goes. But yeah, corrosive. It all depends on the game. A lot of the turns in the augments is depends on how you play. For example, the perfect example is right here as well. For Acida, Vampire Nanobot is the perfect offense augment for that turret because it gives you 50% of the damage. So if you have a MK20 Acida and you're doing a mad amount of damage, you get 50% of that back as healing. So sometimes you can't even die depending on the hull you're using, how far and upgrade your hull is. But if you play support, you obviously want support nanobots because it gives you 100% red shirt healing for your teammates. You don't want to use vampire to heal teammates because you heal for them for 1 HP. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on what type of game style you're playing. So for Tesla, is same thing again. So your accelerator protocol, it shoots the product the energy ball fast as hell. You barely can even see. So like, and then it does the speed is increased by 100%. But if you're playing defense, you want the diatorial protocol because it'll shoot the balls really slow, so you can make the little connections between your ball and your tank, or your ball, your teammate tank, and then the enemy tank. So the diatorial protocol is perfect for defense. Accelerator protocol is perfect for offense. So it's all depending on what gameplay, well, what game type you're playing that day. Uh, for the hammer, I would say it's really hard. Depends on how well you know how to use armor piercing shot, because the third shot of the armor piercing does the critical armor. It literally removes your enemy armor. So if you respawn and just shoot the first two bullets and then use that last one on that player, if you know how to use it that way, it's good. Other than that, I would just say go ahead and use slugger to get that vertical scatter angle -50 and horizon angle -50. I like using the armor piercing shot for augment for the hammer, but a lot of people like to use the other ones. So just pick whatever fits you the most in your game style, okay? And then hammer has a good ones too, different ones. It all depends on what kind of game style you like to play. For the twins, I say Vaporizer just got a booster today as of December 4th or the 3rd, I think. Either today or yesterday, the update came, and it's literally melting players because the Vaporizer is actually doing fire damage right now, and it's really OP. If you, but the only problem is that you can only get that one on boxes. So if you don't have it, I would say go ahead and buy the plasma accelerator, which is it speeds up your projectiles up to 100%. So it's really good for defense and offense. It all depends on if you have the money to buy the boxes or not. For I don't usually use this turret right here. I say go ahead and use the for ricochet. I say go ahead and use minus field stabilizer, just because projectile is just it's just like a plasma version of the twins, both for the ricochet. The faster you can get that damn lava thing down the angle to shoot the players, the faster you can kill them. I don't usually use that turn, but if you do, I say go ahead and use that one. For my old gang OG Smokey, I usually use the super cumulative rounds, just because they increase the critical damage. Because you know with Smokey the critical damage is insane when it hits. So you do want that plus 50% damage on it. But if you don't have it, go ahead and use the cheaper version. Assault rounds, projectile speed is a plus 200%, so you're gonna be hitting people across the map really quickly. And impact force is also 35% for that armor. The only downside from there is the critical hit is removed. So yeah, you're gonna get the speed and the armor thing, but your critical hits is gonna be gone. So it depends if you can afford to lose it or not. For the striker, of course, it's the best option for depending on the gameplay you're playing. Missile launcher Cyclone is probably the best augment for that turret. But I like to troll people sometimes when I'm playing just to have fun. So I like using the stunning missiles. So as soon as you load in and lock the missile, you shoot that person and they stopped. They're frozen pretty much for 2 seconds, and you can keep doing that over and over again. So when you're playing 1v1 versus players, it's so easy to beat them with that augment, unless they have the anti-jam. It always depending who you're playing against, but is there always that person that doesn't have her. So, uh, I like the reinforced aim transmission, but I like the incendiary as well. So if you know how to use the incendiary, you can literally melt players. I've seen people melt players across the map with the Vulcan, with incendiary band. But most people they will recommend using reinforced aim transmission. I like the incendiary barrier. It's always a preference. I don't think you're gonna see too much of a difference, but this turn is so OP that it just melts people. For the OG Thunder, uh, I like using the slug hammer, sledgehammer. But the subcover rounds is pretty good too, just because self damage is off and reload is a little it's minus 1.5%, but you don't even notice the difference. The impact force is plus 25%, and project speed is plus 50%. And plus, if people try to come close to you because they think you're gonna do damage to yourself, to try to suicide with you, that ain't gonna work if you have that augment on. So it depends on the players you're playing against. Okay, the railgun. That is a debate. People gonna hate me for this. I like the hyperspace rounds better. Just with the projectile penetration is 100%, and regular damage is plus 40%. It's just because the so many people using the damn defense, and yeah, mostly because of the defense against the railgun. It's so hard to kill people with them now. So using that one plus double damage, and if you have Viking as well with the Viking alteration, it's just nice to have that augment. A lot of people like the Death Herald. I don't play with Death Herald as much, but it all depends on how you play. Uh, let me see here. Who do we got? Okay, Armor Pierce, Core, and Harpoon. I don't usually play with this gun much, or with this turret much, just because I find it really hard to use, and the Magnum on the pace of it is really slow. So I never saw the need to use it and what map to use it. So I really never mess with it. But if I had to pick, I would pick the Harpoon as the number one, and then the Aura Piercing Core as the number two. Depends on what you can afford to get. Maybe I think the Armor Piercing Core you gotta get from the box, so it might be a little harder for you to get. I don't know if it's from the box. I think it is. 28 and 1. And for the Gauss, I think that's how you pronounce. Is the Gauss only have two augments, and I think electromagnetic salvo is probably the best one for it. Um, just because you get the sniping enemy with it will apply the electrical pulse on it, and the effect will go 10 meters radius for 5 seconds. So sniping reloads also is minus 50, yeah, but whatever. Uh, I just like that one. It works better for me when I'm playing, but the fact that it's so new and you only have two augments, it sucks. So it's not much to talk about it, and it's very strong as it is, anyways. And last but not least, for the shaft, there's only two. I don't care. I don't care who it is. There's only two: the heavy capacitor and the light capacitor. Everything else is it's not trash, but has no comparison. So for the heavy capacitor, the amount of damage your shaft will do is plus 25%. Yes, you lose some on the reload side, but you gain on that damage. So you have a MK20 shaft plus the heavy capacitor augment with the plus 25%, and then you put a double booster damage on top of that. It's a GG, man. It's literally a GG. You terrorize the map. And then the light capacitor, it allows you to reload fast and then shoot much faster too. So that's more when people are annoyed the hell out of you and try to rush you because in the back, like we always find one of those freeze or those damn Tesla guys around. So yeah, so that's my picks. And thanks very much for coming here and watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.